Hello Internet, welcome to the Nerd Sanctuary. This is Yami, and I wanted to do something special for Halloween, but I don't have a Grand Blue deck or anything else that can be considered spooky, so I'm taking advantage of Zato's personal fear of buds. So, made a colony deck profile for this time around. This is the machining deck. I think machines are like all metal buds, robot buds. Let's get started. First is the Mega-Colony Battler C. It has the Forerunner ability, and the skill that you can counterblast one and move him into the soul. When an attack hits a Vanguard during the battle, this unit boosted a Mega-Colony unit. You may pay the cost. If you do, choose one of your opponent's rear guards, and that unit cannot stand during your opponent's next stand phase. Following that, we have 4 of the critical trigger, which was released in Soul Strike against the Supreme. It is Machining Firefly with the Counterblast 1. When this unit is placed on rear guard, if you have a Vanguard with machining its name, pay the cost. If you do, choose one of your other rear guards, stand it, choose one of your opponent's rear guards, and that unit cannot stand during your opponent's next stand phase. Pretty good way of doing things. Standing your own units kind of makes it seem like these are taking on a Nova Grappler-like battle strategy, somewhat, while keeping a lot of the Mega-Colony strategy. Next is 4 draw triggers. These are draw triggers, which also came in Soul Strike against the Supreme. Honestly, Soul Strike just gave us a lot of basic machining support, which is needed, so that's great. But just 4 regular draw triggers. And we got 4 heal triggers, just basic in any deck. Finishing off the triggers, we have 4 stand triggers, which, this card you can actually have 16 of him in a deck, but I don't recommend it. But, when he's placed on Vanguard or rear guard, if you have a card with machining its name in the soul, it gets plus 3,000 power until the end of the turn, so. It's not great, but it's not bad. It's sort of the best of a bad situation. Following that, with the grade 1s, we have 4 of the Machining Mosquito. When this unit is placed on Vanguard or rear guard, if you have a Mega-Colony Vanguard, you can soul charge 1. Which, some of these cards rely heavily on soul blasting, or having certain cards like machinings in the soul, so that's great to put them in there. Following that, we have 2 of the Machining Slater, which, when this unit boosts a Vanguard with machining its name, all your opponent's Vanguards and all your opponent's Vanguards and rear guards are at rest, you can soul charge 2. So that's another great thing to do. Kind of want to be careful though, I'm thinking, that you don't soul charge too much of your deck, because that can be a huge problem. I've experienced that with Genesis decks, so maybe just keep an eye out. When this unit's placed, next is the Machine Locust. When this unit's placed on rear guard, if you have a Mega-Colony Vanguard and all your opponent's Vanguard and rear guards are rest, you can do a drop and draw, pretty much. That's this guy's effect. Moving on, we have 4 of the Machining Hornet, which has the skill when this unit's placed on Vanguard or rear guard. If you have a Mega-Colony with machining its name in the soul, this unit gets plus 3,000 till the end of the turn. Same effect as Machining Cicada, the stand trigger, but still good to have, because the turn it's played, it becomes a 10,000 boost or attacker. And then, ending up the grade 1s, we have 3 of the Machining Black Soldier, which, when this unit attacks, if you have a Vanguard with machining its card name, this unit gets plus 3,000 until the end of the turn. It's a rear guard effect, so these cards are pretty much basic in a lot of decks, so it's good to have around. Starting off the grade 2s, I have 4 of the Machining Mosquito Mark II, and his skill is during your turn, if you have a Vanguard with machining its name, and all your opponent's Vanguard and rear guards are rested, this unit gets 2,000, and the once per turn ability that when this unit attacks, hits a Vanguard, choose one of your other rear guards, stand it, choose one of your opponent's rear guards, and that unit cannot stand during your opponent's next stand phase. Good way to keep on the attack while keeping your opponent from attacking their next turn. After that, I have 3 of the Machining Hornet Mark II, with the skill that when this unit is placed on rear guard, if your Vanguard's in Legion, choose an opponent's rear guard, and that unit cannot stand during your opponent's next stand phase. Another good card works as the Legion mate for one of the grade 3s. After that, I have 2 of the Machining Tarantula with the Counterblast 1 still, as long as, well, Counterblast 1 Machining card. And when this unit's attack hits a Vanguard, if you have a Mega Colony Vanguard, you may pay the cost. If you do, choose one of your opponent's rear guards, and that unit cannot stand during your opponent's next stand phase. And it's a Vanguard or rear guard effect, so no matter where he is, you can do that Counterblast 1 still. Ending off the grade 2s, we have 2 Machining Armor Beetle with a skill. Choose another of your Mega Colony rear guards, put it in your soul when this unit is placed on Vanguard or rear guard. If you have a Mega Colony Vanguard, pay the cost. If you do, choose one of your opponent's rear guards, and that unit cannot stand during your opponent's next stand phase. A lot of this deck is really just stopping your opponent from standing. It's a pretty trolly deck, just made to mess with the opponent. Now we're starting the grade 3s with Machining Scorpion Mark II. It legions with either Machining Hornet Mark II or Machining Mosquito Mark II. So this guy works with either of the 2 grade 2s, either of these guys can legion with this one. But sorry. He has a once per turn skill, Counterblast 1, choose a card with the same name as the unit on your Vanguard from your hand and discard it. When this unit's in Legion, choose 3 cards with Machining your card name from your soul, call them separate rear guards as rest, and increase this unit's attack by the sum of the original attack of the unit's card with this unit's effect until the end of the turn. So pretty much this guy gains a pretty sizable power boost if you built the soul with other cards. He also has the once per turn ability. Choose one of your rear guards with Machining its card name, put it in the soul. To choose one of your rear guards, stand it. Choose one of your opponent's rear guards, and that unit cannot stand during your opponent's next stand phase. Great card. I have him at 4. I've heard some people who have switched out the starting Vanguard Mega Colony Battler C with Machining Little B. They say it's a better card to use, but I am sticking with Battler C for now until Card Fight tells me that it's better to have Little B. Ending it, I have 3 of the Machining Tarantula Mark II, and he has the Counterblast 1 skill that when this unit's drive check reveals a card with the same card name as the unit on your Vanguard circle. If this unit's in Legion, you may pay the cost, which I'll repeat is a Counterblast of 1. If you do, choose all your opponent's Vanguards, and those units cannot stand during your opponent's next stand phase. He also has the activated ability, Soul Blast 2 Machining cards to choose one of your opponent's rear guards, and that unit cannot stand during your opponent's next stand phase. Like I said, this deck is very trolly. It is made to frustrate the opponent by not letting them do anything they want to. And, you know, if you have a friend who's afraid of bugs, like Zato is, then this deck is just fun torture to use against them. For 2 reasons, the fear and the troll. I actually find this deck pretty fun to play, aside from just scaring Zato, but maybe that's me. Definitely maybe give it a shot. If you like to see, like, comment, subscribe, check out the channel. I've recently started doing Let's Plays. I have a video of me just goofing around on Infamous Second Son that went up earlier this week. And last Friday's video was a Chubby Bunny card fight against Zato, so we torture ourselves with that, to be honest, and it might be fun for you guys to watch. Next week, I'm going to be looking at the new booster that comes out. It is the Token Rambo crossover booster, so that should be fun. And just maybe take a look at the channel. We've got a ton of great things. I'm going to be coming out with more challenge videos. I've been working with Vince from Team 2 Legit to Crit to work on something else, a Taco Bell challenge video. So that should be fun. Maybe you guys will see that soon, but once again, this has been Yami from the Nerd Sanctuary, and I'll talk to you guys later.